Greetings, I'm Michael Mike Writer, and today we'll be covering the Ancient Obelisk Technology Set. This is pretty much one of the few sets that I totally missed the first time round, because with the introduction of the evolving obelisk carrier, as you can see here, this added a new piece of set, and this basically makes it a good idea to redo the video, assuming the video actually originally existed, because it's one of the few sets that I didn't do during the actual run with Scarlet, and this was before I actually started doing the set videos with Scarlet. When I was going through Scarlet, actually this is the only mission reward that I haven't actually covered so far. That we've actually done so far. There is actually two or three mission rewards I haven't done yet. As this, it's good names anyway. And since most of these slides were actually built for the preview and the budget build videos, well, I've done 90% of the work, so let's actually do it to cover it again. So yeah, this Ancient Obelisk Technology Set, I should have done this one years ago. So yeah, let's get to it. Now the warp core. This is only one of two. Unlike most other sets that have a warp core into it, this is only in a traditional warp core, no singularity core to it. This boosts auxiliary power and boosts up and a bit both of them. And as usual, the usual space bonuses. We get a bit of damage control, which increases our starship hull regen, the passive hull regen, and a starship turn rate and a bit faster slipstream. Slipstream is basically when you hit something when you don't obviously use a lot. Now I forgot. There's also a shield capacitor, which is a clicky that many warp cores give you. And this one is basically gives you a shield power buff and repairs your shields for every so often. And it's okay, but then this is probably one of the first unique warp cores we ever got. Next up is the Ancient Directional Anti-Proton Beam Array. This is also one of the first 360 or omnidirectional not anti-proton beam arrays, but 360 beam arrays at all. This was unique for a good few years. So if you wanted a 360 beam array, this was the one you had to choose from. So it does slightly less, just anti-proton damage, energy damage, but this does slightly less damage than a standard 270 degree standard beam array, and of course as usual, power reduction when you fire a weapon, and it has, because it's an anti-proton, it has a critical severity bonus, and because it's one of the mods it usually gets with is the accuracy 10% accuracy bonus, and of course it has a 1 second recharge like most of a beam rays. The first of the paid consoles is the reactive anti-proton cascade emitter. This basically is a taunt and a damage resistance and shield handling and also reflection. You taunt basically up to 4 targets around you within 5 kilometers and force those targets to attack your ship for about 20 seconds. And you get some shield. You basically get quite a bit of damage resistance rating, shield resistance rating for about 20 seconds to do it, and you effectively get a energy redirection reflection bonus. and this has about a minute to recharge. I think if I've copied that all right, actually. So that's all and good, but sets usually have set bonuses. Now this is the first one is a very simple one. The two-part bonus, so that's having any two pieces of this 3 or 4 piece set. Obviously 3, but now it's 4-piece set. That you'll get 10% additional anti-proton damage. This 10% bonus anti-proton damage is actually a lot. It's actually pretty decent for if you bonus. If you bonus damage is quite a bit extra than putting in a handful of damage consoles. Damaging anti-proton damage boosting consoles in the tactical slot. And part 3 is enhanced carriage synergy. When you activate a emergency power, because your hanger pets to activate the weakest version of the same power. That basically emergency power to weapons, boosts your own weapons, and also your hanger pets will also activate emergency power to weapons 1, which boosts their own power. So you could get them to run running the 3 part. You can actually make them run basically somewhat of a standard weapon, emergency power to weapons and shields, or emergency power to weapons and engines build on it. As I said, this third piece has an issue. I'm going to make this very clear. This third piece is actually tied to a lobby store exclusive ship, and it always has been. Now, originally it wasn't a T5U, but the T5U part, because you got tape due to the fact that this was one of the last ships before they added one of the last 3 ships actually, one of the last dozen ships that they added before they made the ship. The third piece has issues. The reactive anti-proton cascade emitter is tied to a lobby store exclusive ship, the Advanced Obelisk Carrier, and effectively it's a T5U ship, and it's at 800 lobby per character. Now we'll point out that whilst you don't actually get the Advanced Obelisk Carrier at T5U, you can easily upgrade it for free using it to T5U, so it's effectively you get given it at T5U. Unlike other ship-tied consoles which were tied to an event ship, these event ships were usually obtainable during new content during the initial release, and well, this 800 lobby cost is actually quite expensive, especially compared to some of the cheaper lobby sets that are 200 lobby per piece, and you can get a full 3-piece set for 600. So let's check out the actual new piece. So we've got the new item with actual stats. We got a substation factory tunneling field. This provides a 30% hull regeneration net, which isn't dropped down during combat. So, and then you get a subspace factory tunnel. This provides a teleport to Thorn Island and makes the area hold a temporary health per foe affected, and reduces universal console cooldown. And before you go, and that is pretty much basically it. the jump and the moving around is very, very, very nice when you get it, if you can get it going. But the big problem is there's another problem. But then there's also, if you've got 4 items in your set, then there's a 4-piece bonus. In this case, it creates a obelisk swarm for every second until you get 8 of them on flight at the same time, and these are separate to hangar pets, and you can actually have them trigger on non hangar ships, so you could have your little pets flying around on after your little ship. So what's the big deal with the new ship? The big thing is it's reduced recharge times of universal consoles, which in theory could drop down some consoles which many consoles have 2 minute universal consoles have 2 minute cooldown to about a minute, given that there's a 30-second time to drop the on the built-in on the subspace factory tunnel field option. However, this is pretty much an expensive box trait on the console, because there is actually called unconventional systems, and if you have both unconventional systems and the subspace factory tunneling field on the same ship, you can get them both. You can get them both working at the same time. With long cooldowns reduced, this really does boost up some quite powerful effects to less than 2 minutes, even to less than a minute. Players I've managed to get to reduce cooldown to just about everything, to basically everything that has a time to effectively global or near full uptime. Because I mean, heck, in some cases I think I've seen some abilities trigger before the previous effects died. But with the right setup, it's possible. But I'm not one of those players who can do that. But there's a bot. Yeah, there's a bot. I'm not talking about scouts. Yeah, with the ability to trigger powerful universal consoles back to back. Some DPS players and some PvP players are expecting a nerf of some kind, but this might be just them being a bit complainy. But also when I was doing this for the budget build, this cooldown mechanic was pretty useless. As I could not find a console, another universal console to cool down within that fit in the budget. The biggest but really is that it's attached to a event ship. And the day I'm making this video go live was the day after the free event went, so you've had your chance. And buying a rather expensive event buyout for a few more months in 2024, this is effectively ship's effectively gone for players who haven't, and who don't get, who are now going to have to wait for a couple more years to get hold of it. When this does do return, it's highly likely that this ship will be in the Muds Market section of the Sea Star, and will be at a higher cost than many other ships. But yeah, the big thing is any of this actually worth it? Now, there's the 360B man, the Warp Core 2-piece sets pieces worth it. Given that this Warp Core is a warp car, not a singularity car, which was basically seen in every other set. Almost every other set that has a warp car will almost always have a singularity car available at the same time. This free set can't be used on ships that have a singularity car. I can't, it's. However, this is also one of the first unique warp cars introduced in the game, because it was produced, but the unique warp car mechanic was only released 6 months before. Was only added to the game 6 months before this. Before this warp car was actually introduced. So, and it's heavily been power crept over in the last 10 years since release. The beam is pretty much a decent free option for an anti-proton build, and due to how early you get it, it's actually a nice filler for using in the set Omni Beam slot. I should mention right now that you can equip 2 energy Omni Beams. One will be from a set, which will be such as this one, and the other one will be from a non-set. So that's why I mention it. Unlike other set Omni Beams, this effect, the effects is basically not much different from the default anti-proton effect, other than slightly weaker. Both are actually great, quote, short-term free options for builds, but there's better items that will require them to be moved to use instead, because there's better warp costs and there's better Omni Beams as well. Now, the Peggy, I'm going to have to say, is it really worth it? The newer substation fracture tunneling field is probably one of the best consoles I've seen in the last couple of years. But the availability will be limited for quite a few years, and all the costs will be expensive, and I really do mean that. The older anti-proton cascade emitter being a reflex style console has basically it's effectively suffered from the stellar gameplay that got a very big nerf quite a few years back, and no one's actually been using them for a while since this. And the 3-piece set only really makes sense if you're going to be using a carrier, because as bonuses only affects your pets. But the ability to trigger immense power to weapons, immense power to shields, or immense power to engines on your pets is very nice, and could be, and could give your pets a bit more of a oomph when you're going in for tech runs. The full 4-piece bonus gives you extra packs, even if your ship normally doesn't have the ability to normally use them in the first place. I will point out that not all pet traits and skills will work with these set bonus pets, but quite a few. But the 3-piece bonus appears to be working on these 4-piece bonus pets. So yeah. So do I even use these sets? Well, surprisingly I do. Actually, it's just the Omni Beam. I haven't actually even got a replacement plan for it. The main reason is that the replacements that I'm now considering weren't in the game when I built the ship. I think it's because this was only a few. This was actually posted because I built the ship before Scarlet, and it's actually pretty much. And this ship was actually after I started built flying Scarlet. So yeah, quite a few years after. It's actually one of my better damaging ships that I fly. I have an anti-proton build on my legendary scimitar, and it's actually pretty decent. Uh, I mean, as I said, it's time left on my ships are going to be limited. The placement, the barrel centrally commonly being is pretty much as decent on its own. It is a decent ability that hits multiple ships at once, which makes doing a bit more damage a lot better. And the two-piece bonus makes it even stronger for my particular build, which I could easily afford to slot in a new console. But this is it. This has been Mike Sharkwriter. See you guys next time. Right.